People apply for 100 roles with their one CV. They use one CV to apply for 100 roles, one CV to apply for 5 roles. There are no 2 roles with the same requirements. There are some people that just send you CVs. Please hire me. Send you CVs via email.
Sounds wild.
Oh, I can send you screenshots of different someone that sent a plea for assistance. I'm not going to hire you because you are desperate. I'm not going to hire you because I'm having pity on you. As a matter of fact, I work with clients and it's my business.
Even if it's your business, you have to pay bills. You have to generate revenue.
Absolutely.
So why would you say that is? Where's the mismatch? What's the disconnection? Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Journey to CISO podcast. I'm really excited about our episode today because I have the one and only ThegenZhr on set. But then before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed, do that right away. And if you've subscribed and haven't turned on the notifications, do that by clicking the bell. Today, we're going to need you to be glued to your screen, share your comments, want to hear your opinion. We want to hear your own thoughts. And if you have beef with Felix, please, we want to hear too. Like, share with your friends, share with your colleagues, and follow us for more. Hi Felix,
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm excited that you came. I know you're always busy.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, you're one recruiter that stands out to a lot of people. At least a lot of people that are active on Twitter, a lot of people that are very active in technology space. You've successfully built, your reputation, in that niche. And it's no-brainer when we're talking recruitment, talking conversations around, talent sourcing, you're one of the names that comes up, right? And today we want to get into, how you came about all of that and how that's been going so far. But then before we know you as Felix ThegenZhr, we don't really know Felix Bissong. A lot of people don't even know your surname.
Yes, that's correct.
I think I know your surname because we had the workshop thing that required us to get your full name, that required us to get, all of those details.
I remember.
Yeah. So who is Felix?
Okay.
Who is Felix that everyone knows outside of? Yeah.
Okay, hi, nice to be here again. Felix Bissong, that's the pronunciation of the name. Felix Bissong. Very calm person. I'm very, very calm.
Actually.
People don't believe I'm calm, maybe because of my personality on Twitter or my online personality. People think that everything I put out there is who I am really. But I mean, you don't know anything about me until I tell you. Like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. But yes, I'm a firstborn. And I'm a very exciting person. I've got an exciting personality. I know I love to help people a lot, and I love to be in a garden of people. I also love my space as well, but I love to build stuff and I love to help people a whole lot. That's really who I am, and I love to think, and not to host parties,
Yeah.
That's like what I love to do.
Definitely love that.
Thank you.
So how did your journey into HR start?
Okay. I love to answer this question. I think I love to answer this question when people ask me, did HR find you or you found HR? For me, I think that HR found me.
Okay.
HR found me, yes.
Nice sounding like a religion.
Say again?
Sounds like when you're saying a religion finds you.
Yeah, but HR did find me back in uni. So back in uni, every time, anywhere I go to, I talk about this, by the way, how I got into HR, and I don't fail to mention this organization I'm about to mention here, ISEC. Yes. So why I say HR found me is because I joined ISEC back in campus when I was my year 3, I think so. Year 3, yes. I joined ISEC in year 3. I tried to join in year 1, it didn't work out because I was trying to focus on school and my grades, my grades were falling apart. I mean, I had to just do what I had to do, Joined ISEC, and before I joined, I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do with my life after school. I studied politics, by the way, in school. So I didn't know what I would do. I was thinking I would go out there analyzing political trends like the guys at Channels TV do or the guys at Arise TV. But then I found ISEC. When I joined ISEC, first I was given a role. The role of, leadership finds me everywhere I go to, by the way. Anywhere I go to, they find a way to get me to become a leader, in one way or the other, right? So when I got there, they made me the organizing committee president for recruitment, but it's also recruit new members to join the organization in campus, right? And I did that successfully. We got about 100 guys to join in there. And after that, it became so exciting for me. Like, it's HR. It's recruitment, not HR, yeah? It's recruitment. Oh, I'm having people join. Then it was just volunteering, right? It didn't make so... There was no too much weight to it. It was just me doing volunteering in campus, speaking to people. But when I was speaking to these guys, I realized that I loved speaking with them, and I loved the fact that I was helping them to get something better or to do something better with their lives, right? So that was how I continued doing that for a bit, about a year. And a senior friend of mine saw me. He was building a business in Lagos, right? And during my NYC time, he had reached out to me that, I can actually come work with him. He was building a HR consulting business. He told me, asked him why. He said, he's seen what I was doing, back in campus, and he would love for me to come replicate that with his business as well. So that was how HR started for me. HR did find me, I didn't find HR. So, but that was how it started for me, and then I started working with him, consulting. So my HR career started in consulting, recruitment. Recruitment is like the easiest way to start your HR career, by the way, especially if you know what you need to do, right? But that's how my career started in HR, really.
That's
HR,
very interesting.
HR did find me, yeah. Thank you.
That's very interesting. I've seen a lot of people, from ISEC, I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
I've gone on to do a lot of interesting things. Yeah, and
Good
it's,
guys.
I think it's, I've never joined them, but then I've seen young people who work with them. I've had a number of them approach also in partnership decks, in previous roles.
Great guys.
And it's always really nice to see young people who are undergraduates, mimicking the workplace. It's a good training school.
Absolutely. It's a lovely place. I ended up from being a member, I became the national president, where I was leading about 13 local chapters, across Nigeria. I work with the international body as well. It was an exciting time, honestly.
I'm not hiring someone like that and telling you why, you shouldn't send me an incomplete deck.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You're not teaching certain things.
You already know, like, the basics.
Yes, you already know the basics.
Yes. So
it's like an internship, sort of.
Absolutely.
Or like a preparation school for
the bigger, for the world, literally,
Yeah.
So, because again, I didn't have to go to school to learn how to hire people, So there you learn things by doing, by getting involved in things, right? So you learn by doing, and that's the mentality I've taken, for my team right now. I don't want you to be so equipped, or I don't want you to be so super experienced. Come the way you are. So long as you have the mindset, you can learn. We can teach you by throwing you down there. Go learn, go fail, learn something from your failures and come back. When you fail, you obviously will learn something from there, and then obviously move up from there. And that's how I also learned. And nobody taught me anything. It was go there and learn. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Bringing it back to our current topic, HR, human resources, is one of the most, I won't say misunderstood career or field. There is so much that that arm does, but then people still conflict when it comes to picking apart the different I don't want to say arms in it, but like the different divisions in it. I know there is recruiting, even in recruiting in extremely large systems. You have talent, TA, T this, T that. I want you to break it all down for us. So someone who doesn't know anything about human resources suddenly breaks it down. And this is really important because I see so many conversations where people talk about my job, I'm an HR person, I'm not an admin person, I'm an HR person. My work isn't just about recruiting, I made this, I made that. So today, clear it up for us that don't know and for the leaders that don't know, so that going forward, they would understand, and then even know when you need help. And know, and I can't ask you, why can't you do it all by yourself? Are you not HR?
Yeah, sure.
So break all of the different arms of HR down for us, and then all of the sub inside of it.
Yeah, okay.
So HR is a very big, it's a very diverse, job, right? Very, very huge. There are very different ones, HR is actually very largest. There's recruitment, inside recruitment, there's what we call onboarding as well, recruitment, there's
Offboarding is in recruitment as well.
Okay, so let's do it this way.
Yeah.
So can you take one part, then break it down?
All right, calm. So let's start with recruitment. Okay, that's when you get into the business, right? So there's recruitment, under recruitment you have like onboarding as well. There could be an onboarding, in that recruitment there could be talent acquisition specialists. Okay. In that recruitment also there could be an onboarding specialist as well. The person who is helping to onboard you into the business, right? In bigger organizations.
Yes, of course.
In that same recruitment also, there's what we call I think after onboarding, what happens then is integration. You get to integrate to the business as well. The onboarding team also helps you with that, to get you integrated into the business. After recruitment, and onboarding, what we have next is what we call talent management as well. Talent management. So what talent management helps you to do is it helps you, because we've hired you already, we don't want you to just come in, and we don't want you to just come in and do whatever it is you need to, that you feel like you need to do, right? We try to manage you properly. We train you. Under that we also have like learning development as well, where we get to like train you. We have like what's the word now? Training curriculum or training plan, that we can help you train. There is also, outside learning development, there's also what we have, there's compensation and benefits, in HR as well, where we have like this, where they want to manage your salaries, who do payroll, organize payroll for you. They also obviously work around compensation strategy. They're the ones who obviously give recommendations that, I think that the business could go this way, the business could go that way. They're the ones who help to remit your taxes. They're the ones who help to run your pension. And they like, this is what we call HR business partnering. Those guys are the ones who also they liaise with other organizations, the people outside there. They liaise with the HMO guys. They liaise with the tax organizations. They liaise with the pension. And the likes. There's also it's what we call also offboarding. Okay. There's offboarding as well. Offboarding deals with exits. These guys deal with exits. They are professionals who deal with this particularly. They deal with exit interviews. They deal with resignations. When resignations come in, these are the guys who manage them. They deal with all of those processes, right? And I think I didn't speak a lot around talent. No. What should we say now? L&D, learning and development. I didn't speak a lot about that. This is something that I'm very passionate about, by the way, because I think that learning is super important in every phase of anyone's career. So learning development is a part of this HR that is the most critical part of HR, because it helps you a whole lot to develop, right? And if people do not develop, if you join a business today and you don't learn a new skill, you are not growing, right? You absolutely will not grow. And if you don't grow, you're going to be left behind, and eventually get phased out, which is not anything anyone wants to experience, right? So learning development comes in there, where we get to like teach or train people. Either we send you for trainings, or we bring people to come train you internally, or we even have like teams in the organization that come train people in the organization as well. So there's that. There's a lot of different ones, but I think, which should I even speak on again right now?
This is people and culture thing.
Yeah, people and culture.
Talent management.
People and culture is like that. An overall, it's like
umbrella.
Umbrella for. People call it people and culture. People call it human capital, resource. But when you talk about the culture bits of HR, these are the guys who typically are the custodian of the business's culture, right? So I'm sure that if you've done I'm sure you've done interview before. You came to do a cultural interview, a culture fit interview. This guy wants to know if really you are culturally fit to be a part of the business, right? Um, there are some guys who also there are some guys who are doing people operations as well. People operations also. These guys are managing everything from point A to point Z. They are working really liaising with all the other sub departments to ensure that everything is going okay in the business, right? I think business partnering is the largest, in HR because they do a lot of work. They liaise with external and also internal structures also.
Yeah, so align
to
like
ensure that
business
everything is
strategy
aligned,
with
yeah.
people strategy.
That's really the bulk around it. There's a lot more around this, but I think that as we move on, we can also discuss.
Of course,
this,
of course. Human resource, people and culture. Sometimes this can sound like bogus words, especially, when you know that they do all of these things, but then at the same time, you have like this set of expectations, or you realize that you don't understand the granular part. Now, I'm speaking as non-HR professionals, of course. Maybe like even business owners who expect you to also like do some admin work, and you're like, no, I'm an HR person, I'm not an admin. There's so much conversations around what HR professionals will tell you they and what they are not, and then disconnect between business owners and their expectations. So I need you to break it down for us, like we're 5-year-olds, This whole human resource business, what are the roles that are in it? And for each of these roles, break it down for us, what exactly their functions are.
Yeah. So I think just a little bit of depth also. A lot of people think HR is just back office. Of course, we can be said to be back office,
Not anymore these days. You guys are now, running.
Yeah, I mean, those are like things. Those are like thoughts people always have whenever they hear HR. They don't prioritize HR. That's like a lot of things that startup founders do. They want to just maybe pick people here and there first before the HR is like the last person they want to talk to. Maybe because they think that HR is going to take their money, or I don't know, going to make them to do the right thing or something. So HR's work is purely strategy as well, right? Our strategy is we want to help the business to grow as much. We want to help the business to grow people-wise, to grow their people, right? And there are a lot of structures that typically are put in place and to help us achieve these goals. Yeah. When you talk about the HR itself, the entire HR life cycle, there's a lot of things. There's from recruitment, to onboarding, to exit, to learning development, to compensation and benefits, to payroll management, to employee well-being. There's just a lot of different things, right? So when you talk about recruitment, there are a lot of things involved in recruitment. There is obviously talent acquisition there. There are different roles, literally, you can come up from recruitment in HR. Talent acquisition, there's onboarding specialists you can have there. Recently, I was even invited, I was sent an email from one of the companies I would love to work with. But I mean, I'm not ready to go back to 9 to 5. So,
okay.
They reached out and they wanted me to come deal with the employee experience specialist. It's one of the downstream guys, yes. They wanted me to come work as an employee experience specialist. What this person does particularly is ensuring that people are fine in business. People are doing
they
okay.
Like their environment.
People are happy. People are doing. They're giving people good experiences at work, right? So there's that as well. There's also there's learning development, where obviously you get to when you come into the business, there's already a roadmap for you, a learning structure for you where you get to like learn from point A to point B. We teach you. We're not just obviously teaching you book stuff. We are also having practical stuff with you, whether it's leadership, whether it's mentorship. There's that for you as well. The learning development team are the ones. I mean, you hear things like learning and development specialists, learning and development manager. I'm sure you've heard about that before. Those guys are there to ensure that you are able to learn, and also to upskill and to grow while still working in the business, right? And I think that for many organizations, they have those because, well, I think HR has gone past the era of, oh, I mean, people say we used to do hiring and firing. You know, that's really not. I've never had to do HR that was that simple. You know, hire and fire. No, it's complicated. You know, you're hiring and then you're going through different routes. You know, I mean, person eventually resigns. You don't even have to fire anyone, right? There's also exit management. Also, exit guys are the ones who obviously manage not retirees. I beg your pardon. People who resign, you know, or exits, people who leave the business, right? So there's the management of those guys. There are people who manage those guys particularly as well. There's what we call HR business partners as well. You might see that HRBP, yeah, HR business partners. These guys work with externals, you know, external partners. You know, you see the HMO that you are getting served, the pension connect. You know, the is it the life now? There's the pension, the HMO. There's also what we call life insurance as well. You know, the HRBP has to manage all of those things, you know, for you, just so you are able to obviously, just so that the communication is easy. You know, when you have problem with your HMO, HRBP is there to manage it for you and everything. You know, just a number of things. I think as we move on,
But the compensation guys as
the
well.
compensation guys, yes, they're the ones who obviously manage. I mean, your salaries, you know, your benefits, all the HMO, all the pension and the like. They're the ones who obviously structure around it, find structure around it, you know, and then pass it on to obviously the HRBP guys, you know, to manage. But the comps and bends guys, we call them comps and bends. I don't like that part, by the way. It has a lot of things to do with maths because I mean, apart from the benefits, the compensation,
Analysis,
yes, you
you
know, the mathematical part of it, or the
You have to model it. You can't just push an increase.
it's
Say you're
very-
pushing an increase for like 50,000 employees.
It's insane. So I try to run away from comms and bends, you know, a lot. So I just focus on recruitment, talent acquisition. I try to focus also on employee experience. I focus also majorly on learning development as well, you know, and policy development. I mean, I think I forgot to mention policy. There's some guys. The culture guys are the ones who are particularly in charge of policy. The culture guys, they manage policies for you. They ensure that they also implement policies, you know, that they are obviously putting together. And they are like storekeepers, you know, or we call them the police, you know, in the businesses really. What else now? I think that's the bits of it. Maybe as we move on, I can share a lot more.
That's very extensive.
Thank you.
At least we have been well educated, and then I think the Twitter arguments can stop. Finally.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So-
So moving it down to a more, you know, extensive level. What I do not, why I am not a, you know, recruiting professional, I am in a leadership profession or a leadership position that gets me involved in, you know, hiring, and also we have a community, and then you have founders reaching out and then asking for you to recommend talents and things like that. And one very interesting irony that I've realized is in the job market is this: there are so many jobs and opportunities out there, both the ones that are announced on a daily basis,
Yeah.
and then the very important ones that are not announced. Like people just reach out and tell you to recommend. Those are really sweet ones.
Yeah.
And you know, so many week on week, I would get founders tell me, "Do you know somebody, you know, that can handle this role? Can you please recommend someone?"
Yeah.
There's like endless requests, and I'm sure you get endless requests as well.
yeah.
And HR is not a scarce role. Lots of people are in it, and each of these people I know are getting consistent requests for talent. At the same time, you have tons of talent out there telling you how there are no jobs and how they have to apply to, like, you know, hundreds of jobs and then nothing.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
Very complicated.
Why would you say that is? Where's the mismatch? What's the disconnection?
I think a lot of talents are. I think a lot of talents, firstly, are. They are being unfair to themselves. I mean, just today, for instance, just today, I had an interview with the candidates that had been scheduled like since last week. Yeah, and then typically when I send interview invitations, I ensure that you you get reminders, either 24 hours reminder, 10-hour reminder, 2-hour reminder, 30 minutes reminder, and then
At least
10 minutes reminder. I make sure that you get extensive reminders, for the role. And then this candidate comes to the call, and my client was on the call as well, and she asked the candidate, because I had met the candidate already. I asked the candidate, she asked the candidate, what do you know we do here? What do you know about the business that you're interviewing for? And the candidate goes, I don't know anything.
So as someone who is a people manager to a really large extent, and who literally owns like an ecosystem for talent across different, fields, I've come to see an interesting irony. You have lots and lots of jobs on a weekly basis on LinkedIn, everywhere, company websites, and people are constantly looking for roles. HR, professionals are out there on LinkedIn, entering into DMs, asking you if you are interested in this role. Sitting on LinkedIn, paying LinkedIn lots of money every month just to find talent.
Yes.
And then there's talent on the other end that will tell you there are no jobs. I have applied and reached out. I started going from door to door, going from office to office, give them my CV, nothing. For that level of demand for talent, and then for that, it feels like there's a mismatch, there's a disconnection. From a standpoint, because we've asked a previous guest this question, and as a business owner, they had a different standpoint. I want to listen to at least someone who's in the middle.
Okay.
Yes, and get insight into what your thoughts are, at least from your own experience.
Okay. Thank you for asking again. So like I was sharing earlier, a lot of job applicants are very unprepared, right? That's one for the job applicants bits. Lots of them are they are very unprepared. I think that's the best word to use to describing this. I had a candidate today again, who came for an interview, and then I asked, my client asked the candidate what he knew about the company he was applying for. The candidate said he doesn't know anything about the company, and that threw me off. It threw me off really badly, and it put me in a very bad spot because it felt like, I didn't do my work, right? But I had spoken to this person already. I had given constant reminders to this person, and we should obviously, if I'm applying for a role, for instance, if I'm applying for anything, for instance, my brain should tell me, oh, you have an interview tomorrow, right? Do a research about these guys. Go check these guys out somewhere, check them out on Instagram if it's a graphic role or whatever, if it's a role that maybe you need to actually see people or see the culture or whatever, I would want to, if I'm applying for any organization, I would want to check them out first. In this age where there are a lot of startups, there are businesses you will not even know exist, but their roles are out there. But you applied for a role. If you are able to use your hands to apply for a role, you should be able to also use those same hands to do a little time research. 5 minutes, see what this company does here, this is what I do, this is what they do here, you're good to go. The candidate comes into the interview room and tells my client that he doesn't know the company he's applying to work at.
Let's even assume this person had, applied to about 100 companies. People who just serially apply. The fact that you got an interview, the fact that you got
an invitation, right?
That narrows it down. I don't need to know everyone that you applied to. But the moment you got it's not everyone you get an invitation from.
Not everybody gets an invitation.
Get 10% invitation, right? And then you even if you don't reach, you don't really have it in your head. But then tomorrow I have an interview tomorrow. This organization. ChatGPT, search for every single
even if it's Google
that this company does, and just let me know.
Or go to their website.
Or how do you even plan to execute the job?
Do you see that?
Most likely, because when you're envisioning a role, when you are being invited for an interview, most of the questions would have to do with you envisioning yourself in a role.
Company.
And then how would you apply your skills
Simple.
To solve the solution? So how do you expect to answer questions that test for that?
I was knackered. I was really that particular comment or the answer threw me off really badly, and quite frankly, I had to tell my client, I had to tell my team to take over because I wasn't able to I wasn't able to stay there any longer because I felt betrayed. Yeah,
People become biased.
I felt really betrayed, and I didn't want to become biased also, I had to, like, what, team, take over this. I would just be out here to deal with the next interview, but for now, just take over, And things like this, they spoil your mood because they spoil your mood because you don't know if the next person, if the next people are going to be the same. I don't want to continue because if you continue, it might just be a series
transfer.
of no you're giving to everybody, because maybe you feel like they're going to say the same thing again, but yes, there's that bit from the candidates bit. They are mostly underprepared, and a lot of them who just apply for roles, like you mentioned. People apply for 100 roles with their one CV. They use one CV to apply for 100 roles, one CV to apply for 5 roles. There are no 2 roles with the same requirements. Every role has different requirements, right? And everybody needs to understand exactly what these requirements are. We're not saying you should have 100 CV, no, or 100 resumes, absolutely not. We're saying that you should be able to tailor what you have to the JD that required the requirements for that particular role, so that at least you should get a first hand, at least try to get past the applicant tracking system. That should be your number one priority. Don't just do the bare minimum. Most Nigerian job seekers do the barest minimum. There's some people that just send you CVs. Please hire me on your email. They're sending you CVs via email.
Sounds wild.
Oh, I can send you screenshots of different. Please hire me. There's someone that sent a plea for assistance. I'm not going to hire you because you are desperate. I'm not going to hire you because you are. I'm having pity on you. As a matter of fact, I work with clients and it's my business.
You want it's your business. You have to pay bills. You have to generate revenue.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to contribute.
Simple. You need to dish out value. So back to your question, I'll answer your question now. Now, most Nigerian applicants do not know how to give out value. Okay. And most Nigerian founders are looking for value.
I feel like anybody on earth who puts a business up. Businesses are expensive.
Very expensive.
And then there's taxes.
Oh, God.
And then there is buildings and overhead, and your computers break down. Do you know how much a MacBook is now? See companies that use MacBooks at this time with the exchange rate, and then there's all of that going on.
It's insane. So I'm looking for value as a founder. You are coming to beg me to give you a job without you providing value for me. So as a founder, I know what I want to achieve. Okay, I'm not going to cut everything down, because I have pity on this person. Or I'll give you a job because you look fine. You look desperate. I'll give you a job. I won't do that. That would be me ruining my business, no. On the founder bit as well, founders are looking for very experienced folks. Most founders, by the way, are trying to pay very minimal cash or very small salaries. Most people, right? And they're not. Looking for senior folks is not a bad thing. But looking for senior folks and being able to pay them their worth is a good thing. It's what a lot of people should be looking forward to. So a lot of people we have in the market right now, because of the Jackpot syndrome, a lot of people have left the country. Sure. And they are not looking to work with Nigerian companies anymore because, they get paid a lot more money there. Okay. Right? So I think that what founders are doing right now, what founders should ideally do is, I'm not saying go pick the ones who are not experienced. Pick the ones who have, not necessarily like very senior experience, and train. Pick and train, hire to train. But again, that's expensive because that's a lot of that's time again. Also, and then they could leave when you're training. I'm coming to that. You're spending money training people, and these people might not even have that ownership mindset. They want to run away. Okay, and a lot of companies right now are trying to have you sign bonds.
Do they work though?
They do work. I have a client right now whose talent had signed a bond to, I think 2 years ago. She signed a bond to be in the business for 3 years. She got married in July, and her husband is telling her to leave the role because obviously she's married. Things have changed, and the business is telling her to pay the bond, 2 million naira. She just worked for 3 years after the training, but she hasn't been able to do up to 2 years there, and she wants to leave. The business is asking her to pay the money before she leaves. So those are things that some companies are obviously taking right now. I mean, I'm trying to find a way to work around that, to either make it easier for the talent and also make it easy for the business as well. You cannot be hired based off of pity. You can't be hired because people are pitied or because you were pitied. If you're hired because you were pitied, you will be thrown out without nothing. You'll be thrown out with. I mean, you're gonna be treated with so much disdain. If you're hired with pity, yes.
Yeah.
So you have to ensure that you give value. Because I'm sure that I wasn't there when I wasn't working with this client when they hired this lady. So I don't know exactly what the conversation they had then, right? But I can already think about it in my head that this babe was a little desperate,
Yeah.
right? And she needed to get to this job.
And she was like just 3 years.
Yes, it's 3 years. 3 years is just there. I mean, 3 years is a long time.
Actually, it's eternity.
3 years is a long time. Even 2 months is a long time. A lot of things can happen in 2 months.
You could get a scholarship.
You could get a scholarship, right? You could get a higher paying opportunity. How do you want to get out of that? How if you didn't have 200k to actually sustain yourself without or keep yourself from being desperate, how can you have 2 million in 2 months to pay back your training bond? How can you do that?
But that time, I'm sure it's, I have a job right now here. Let me just. But we can't blame the company though, because
right?
there's a lot of investment that goes into training. Aside the direct financial cost, there is the time spent. Do you know what it feels like to be training people non-stop? It's crazy, and it's not like they would hire a professional separately to train you. Most of it, even after you're done with the maybe general training, whatever, you're attached to maybe a senior professional who, out of their already busy schedule, still has to make out time to train you. And in some companies, they don't even compensate that person separately for it. And then the ones that do, that's like an extra added cost to the organization as well.
Simple. It's insane, yeah. Again, like I said, I always advise young people before you sign. Again, don't be desperate. Don't show value, and you're going to get hired. Don't just go there and want to play the pity card. I mean, most Nigerians can play that card. But unfortunately, it is what it is, But if you're hired because or based off of pity that people have on you, I'm sure you know that you're going to suffer so much. We are in Nigeria. Most people want to see your downfall, whether in 9 to 5. Corporate world is crazy already. Imagine somebody hiring you based off of pity. They are going to want to use you till the last. You know that already.
I have to get out what I'm paying. I have to get out of you.
I mean, they'll get a lot more than just that. They won't just get out. They won't get out just what they are paying you for. They'll get a lot more. You can even be sweeping for them. You can even be cleaning household for them. You can even be thinking of their kids.
After I did you a favor.
After I did you a favor, you see, that's why you can't let anybody hire you based off of pity. Okay, you have to give value so that at least you can work out if you have to work out because you still have value and not because I pity you, that's why I hired you.
And it's easy for you to find next steps.
It's easy when you have value. It's easy for you to find next step. I don't apply for roles anymore. As a matter of fact, I've never really applied for roles. Every role I've had to work on, I have been recommended or referred. I've never really had to. Yeah, exactly. I've never really had to apply for a role, and then I got it. I've always either been referred or recommended for a role because I've consistently shown value. I think that's what every young person should be able to, not because you want to be referred, but because you want to show that, okay, you can actually do stuff, that you claim to be able to do.
Interesting.